Hello again. The idea of a nation state or country in which citizenship goes hand in hand with a particular ethnicity used to be widely accepted in Europe. At one time, speaking of the English race was considered perfectly normal, and in the same way the French regarded themselves as a distinct people with their own ethnicity, culture, language and religion. In other words, nationality and ethnicity were, in the minds of the average European, inextricably linked. Today, though, we have a new idea on the matter, and this is that nationality is a vague and shapeless identity which can be granted willy-nilly to all who want it. My neighbours are Bulgarians, but they now have British citizenship, and at least in theory they are as English as I am. The same happens in this country with Chinese people, black Africans, Brazilians, Afghans, and anybody else who wishes to live in Britain. Not only do we no longer think in terms of an English race, it is widely thought to be racist even to think or speak of a typical English person, meaning somebody who is white, whose parents were born in England, and whose family are probably Christian. Most of us who grew up in England 50 or 60 years ago believed in the ethno-state without ever putting the thing into words. We just knew that English people were usually white Christians, and that was that. The very idea of such a mindset now is treated as being indicative of white supremacism, and few people wish to endorse any of the tenets of ethnic nationalism out loud. I remarked yesterday that in the Middle East this way of thinking is universal. The official name of Egypt is the Arab Republic of Egypt. That automatically defines a true Egyptian in ethnic terms as an Arab. There are many black Nubians in the south, but they are regarded by many Egyptians with contempt, and are certainly not properly Egyptian as the Arabs are. Turkey is the same, and Turks are a particular ethnic group, which means that Kurds and so on are always left out of the reckoning. Iran too has this mental attitude. India is now in the throes of a feeling that it would like to become an ethno-state of this kind. Modi, the leader of the country, is very keen on the idea of Hindutva, which might be called Hinduness, and it is thought that he would like to see India defined as a Hindu country. Hindutva is a bit like Zionism, in which a particular kind of ethnicity and religion is being associated in the minds of supporters of the idea as a way to unify a country containing many ethnic groups and make it plain that one religion is really synonymous with nationality, and that is Hinduism. Needless to say, many left-wingers in Britain regard Modi as a fascist. I was wondering what viewers would think of the idea of an English ethno-state, and whether they would be in favour of such a thing. On the face of it, at least, the idea has its attractions. Imagine Britain being defined as a white European nation, with one language, one culture, and perhaps also as a Christian country. I have an idea that secretly many people have a hankering after something of the kind. I can certainly see problems with the idea, though. For one thing, where would this arrangement leave Jews and Hindus? Would they be regarded as false citizens of Britain? Or would they perhaps have the status of second-class citizens, which would be not particularly desirable, I think? This was always the difficulty with ethnic nationalism in Europe in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Jews and Slavs tended to be seen as not real Europeans, and always to have the hint of the foreigner or outsider about them. I need hardly, I suppose, mention that Hitler himself was very keen on this concept, and this has perhaps tainted it in the eyes of many people today. As I say, though, India is now flirting with a form of ethnic nationalism, and there are without doubt white people in Europe who would be in favour of something like this, even if it was to be simply in the broad sense of European being understood to be white rather than black or Asian. Modi in India has rather restarted this whole idea, and quite a few people are now talking about the idea of ethnic nationalism in Europe.